Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about a player who's caught my eye over the years, in terms of drafting, and that is Caps. I've noticed a consistent trend of Caps looking for and trying unorthodox things that other people wouldn't necessarily think of, that actually have really good, not only lane matchups, but like thematic matchups. Um, into what the enemy is playing, right? So uh, one thing that I'm sure everyone will remember is when on Fnatic he decided to pick Vayne mid into the Galio and full melee team. Um, he kind of inted for the first half of that game and then smurfed a team fight near the end. But the idea, I think, was good. And a similar thing happened in this game that was played 6 days ago. Yeah, 3rd of September. We're on the 9th now. But Caps played this AP Varus mid here. And the idea behind this is that Lethality Varus mid was an old answer to Azir when Lethality Varus mid was a thing. Because he outranges him and makes laning really hard for him. But also, I've been a big advocate that the answer to a kite back disengage comp is to draft to outrange them. And the Seraphine, Varus, and Senna accomplish that. The Varus is very thematic here. Um, so what this is leading me to believe is that Caps has an eye for how champions interact with each other, not just in lane, but in the game as a whole, that I don't think other players have, because it's incredibly consistent to not only G2, but Caps. So another big draft gap that people talk about is this game, where G2 in the finals against Fnatic a couple of years back, I can't remember exactly when it was, they pick Kog'Maw Lulu. And this just happens to be when Caps is playing AD carry for G2. And what Fnatic have drafted is a comp that has to engage on this Azir Kog'Maw Lulu on Jarvan comp, but has no reliable engage into that comp. Like, the most reliable thing they have is, I guess, a Lee Sin kick or a Tom Kench W. It's not very, if that's the most reliable engage you've got, you're really going to struggle to approach people, but they have to, because otherwise the Azir and the Kog'Maw are just going to outrange them. So the Kog'Maw Lulu here is really good. And yeah, but once again, it just happens to be Caps. I remember a lot of times where Pyke mid has been played as well. And then my favorite one, I remember watching this game live during MSI, and I was really happy with the draft, is when Caps picked Anivia into Evil Geniuses. It's so good against everything that has been shown here. Against Ryze, it has a favourable lane matchup. He has no terrain scaling. He struggles to deal with wall. She outranges him. Exactly the same thing happens for Samira. If Ryze ever ults, Anivia just drops her her ult on the entire Ryze ult and then just puts a wall in the way so that they can't run forward after they get out of it. If Nautilus ever hooks, Anivia can block it with her W. But outside of just the individual champion interactions, all of these champions against Zeri are going to have to run at her. Like, they're going to have to kill this Zeri because she's going to be outranging them. And Caps identifies that the enemy champions are going to have to run into them, and so he picks Anivia. And then we end up with, they commit to this comp that needs to run in because they pick Aatrox, right? And in this game, I remember a few times, I think around here, where the Anivia pick really showed its worth. Not around here. It's probably this, where it jumps. Okay, yeah, it's before this. Sorry, I need to find this. It's around here when we're posturing for this Herald, right? So, watch Caps here. So he drops a wall, and he just uses the wall to create space for his team, and then he just makes it nearly impossible for EG to approach. They collapse on this guy. EG run up here, and now EG are trying to get down here, and look at this zoning from Anivia. Like, there is actually no way for them to get in whenever Caps is able to cast his spells. Once wall comes back up, he can just drop another wall. Here, like, the Samira can't do anything against the wall and the like space control of Anivia. It's crazy how good the pick is here. There's another one at a late dragon fight. Like, it's before this. This dragon fight. So yeah, I want you to keep your eyes on Anivia here. I'll slow it down for this fight. The other one's very obvious on high speed. But just watch what happens to, like, specifically Dani on Samira, but also just the rest of the comp in general. So Caps finds a pick onto Dani. He cannot get out because of the wall. He has to flash. The entire time this is happening, Dani can't hit Caps because he's outranged. Impact tries to go in, but he's just running into Anivia Storm and Zeri and dying. And then on the way out, Dani, now without flash, just gets walled again and has to try and go in and make something and just dies. Like, the amount of control that Caps put down there with Anivia's ult, her Q, and her wall especially, is just crazy. So yeah, I basically just wanted to highlight Caps as a player that I think is consistently being creative and finding champions that work in good angles. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my Wrath of the Lich King Classic logging queue at the bottom. So yeah, see you next time. Peace.